and welcome to another round of Sports Reviews. Tonight I'm reviewing the first three games of Super Wildcard Weekend in chronological order. Indianapolis Colts versus the Buffalo Bills, the LA Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Washington football team. First, we will start with Indianapolis versus Buffalo. Indianapolis 24, Buffalo 27. Buffalo holds on by the skin of their teeth because the Indianapolis Colts went brain dead in the last 3 minutes. That horrible final drive, they went brain dead. They almost got caught fumbling the ball. They don't give that. Phillip Rivers fails again. And I like Phillip Rivers, kind of. He's a good player, but he has another classic Phillip Rivers ending and loses. The points were scored as follows. In the first quarter, Rodrigo Blankenship kicks a 30-yard field goal to make it 3-0. Knox has a 2-yard touchdown catch to make it 3-7 for the Buffalo Bills. In the second quarter, Taylor has a 1-yard touchdown run to make it 10-7 for the Indianapolis Colts. In the third quarter, Josh Allen with a 4-yard touchdown run to make it 10-14. Bass with a 46-yard field goal to make it 10-17. And in the fourth quarter, it started blowing up. Stephon Diggs with a 35-yard touchdown catch to make it 10-24. Pascal for Indianapolis with a 9-yard touchdown catch. 2 points failed. 16-24. Bass with a 56-yard field goal as a rookie, by the way. 16-27 Buffalo, and Doyle with a 27-yard touchdown catch with a 2-point made conversion to make it 24-27. That's the way it would end. For me, Buffalo deserved to win. But if Indianapolis didn't throw away 7 points, they would have won this game. If they would have made the field goal that they missed, the doink, if they would have kicked a field goal instead of going for it on fourth down, that's 6 points, and kicked a field goal when they missed the 2-point, the extra point, that would be 7 points. That would have won this game. They wouldn't have had to worry about bungling that last drive. I'm sorry. Colts had a good game. Bills had a good game. Josh Allen was great. But for me, I'm sorry, that last drive kind of shows you that the Colts had the better game. And if they would have scored the 7 points they threw away, they would have won this game. Seriously. They kick that field goal. They go for 1 instead of 2. Actually, that would have tied it. They would have went to overtime, and who knows what would have happened there. And if they scored that other field goal, they would have won by 3 or 4. You know? Exactly. So, who knows? The Bills played well. Josh Allen was great. Stephon Diggs, I liked seeing him play. The offense did well. As per, the defense, wasn't great. Especially in the first half, the Colts were throwing them around, ragdolling them. The offense wasn't great. They were quiet, but they got better. The defense kind of stayed where they were. The Bills deserve to win. Josh Allen put the team on his back. Stephon Diggs put the team on his back. But for me, the Colts were this close to winning this game. And they blew it in epic fashion. And really, that fumble should have been the end of it. But they still blew it in epic fashion because that was a fumble. I don't care what you say. That was a fumble by Pascal. His knee was up. He was trying to run. He couldn't break the tackles. That's a fumble. I don't know why it wasn't called a fumble. They could have kneeled it out, but no, they wanted Phillip Rivers. The football gods wanted Phillip Rivers to embarrass himself. And he did. Hook, line, sinker. There you go. Man of the match for me. Player of the game, Josh Allen, because he's the reason the Buffalo Bills won for me. So, with that, let's talk about the second game of the day. I got my prediction for that one right, though. The Buffalo Bills do win. I was correct about that. I'm 1-0 in my predictions this week so far. But here's where it stops. The LA Rams win 30-20 over the Seattle Seahawks. The points were scored as follows. In the first quarter, Matt Gay with a 40-yard field goal. 3-0. And yes, that's his real name. That's who they signed to replace Sloman. And, was it, Forbath. Yeah. I'm saying. That's why I said his whole name, because, you know, I'm just a sports YouTuber on the rise. I don't need no problems. Now, in the second quarter, Myers with a 50-yard field goal of his own to make it 3-3. That's the best the Seahawks would look in this game. Matt Gay with a 39-yard field goal to make it 6-3. Williams has a pick six off Russell Wilson to make it 13-3. DK Metcalf gets a 51-yard touchdown catch to make it 13-10. Akers has a 5-yard touchdown run to end the half 20-10. In the third quarter, Myers has a 53-yard field goal to make it 20-13. Then, in the fourth quarter, Matt Gay has a 36-yard field goal, 23-13. Woods. My handwriting actually stumped me for once. I'm surprised. Woods with a 15-yard touchdown catch to make it 30-13. And then DK Metcalf to window dress. 12-yard touchdown catch to make it 30-20. This game was horrible. I know it was close, but it was horrible. The Rams should not have won this game by all rights. Now, they played okay. The defense was good enough, but Aaron Donald hurts his ribs. Jared Goff doesn't start. John Wolford starts, gets knocked out. Jared Goff comes in after 1 week of a thumb injury, after a surgery, throws ducks. They somehow win. The Seahawks self-immolated. That's the worst Seahawks game I've ever watched in my life. And I'm not even a fan. But I do watch other games, especially in the playoffs. And late on, the Seahawks were horrible. Horrible. You say Russ is cooking. He's MVP. Where was he? He was invisible. DK Metcalf, invisible. I guess it's that Rebel DNA. That Ole Miss DNA. Invisible. Invisible. Gone. Trash. Invisible. All of them. And the Seahawks defense? Y'all saying, oh, it's the revival of the Legion of Boom. What the hell happened? Trash. Trash. Now you could say the Rams defense was stellar, even without Aaron Donald. Okay, fine. Stellar. I'll give you that. They were. But, that still doesn't give you an excuse to lose to a team with a Jared Goff who's recovering from thumb surgery as an emergency quarterback they thought they didn't need throwing ducks. And also, Akers was balling out tonight. Yeah. Cam Akers was balling out tonight. Fair play. But Jared Goff was still making some throws. He was throwing ducks. How do you lose to that when you're Russell Wilson, Dangerous Wilson, cooking, MVP? How do you lose to that? How do you lose to that? Because the LA Rams, by no rights, should have won this game. They upset you. This is an actual upset. I'm mad because I did not expect this. And partly because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are walking straight in to a chainsaw. Because I'll get into it. But they're walking straight into a chainsaw because there's no way Chicago wins tomorrow. They're walking straight into a chainsaw. Instead of playing the frauds next week, they actually play the probably truly best team in the NFC. At least when they play us. They're walking into a chainsaw. Look at how they played tonight. Player of the match for this game, I have to say, yeah, Matt Gay. Matt Gay, because all those field goals, getting into field goal range and hitting those, they don't need Zerline. That's why they got rid of him. He's just as good. Fair play. He was good. Maybe they're going to keep him over Forbath. He was good. Amazing with all those field goals. I'd say it was more him than the actual offense, but hey, I got that match wrong. 1-1 on my predictions so far on the day and the weekend. Now finally, the game you came here to see me review. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Washington football team, 31-23. Tampa Bay, they get the job done. Should not have been that close. It should have been a boat race, but I'll get into it. The points were scored as follows. Ryan Suckup with a 29-yard field goal to make it 3-0. Antonio Brown with a 36-yard touchdown catch to make it 9-0. McKissick for Washington with a 2-yard touchdown run to make it 9-7. Chris Godwin with a 27-yard touchdown catch. 2-point conversion was failed, 15-7. In the second quarter, 2 scores in the first, 2 scores in the second. In the third quarter, actually 3. Suckup with a 23-yard field goal to make it 18-7. By halftime, Then after halftime, Hopkins with a 36-yard field goal for Washington, 18-10. Taylor Heineke with an 8-yard touchdown run, gets it onto the pylon, 2-point conversion fail, 18-16. Then in the fourth quarter, Ryan Suckup with a 38-yard field goal. Leonard Fournette with a 3-yard touchdown run, 21-16 after the field goal, 28-16 after the touchdown run. Sims with an 11-yard touchdown catch. Could have been called out. They give it to him, 28-22. Then Ryan Suckup ices it, 37-yard field goal, 31-23. Now, here's the thing for me. The defense was atrocious. Tom Brady played an amazing game. Yes, the receivers were dropping balls left, right, and center, especially Chris Godwin. But Mike Evans had a couple of drops. Brown had a drop. The guy from Vandy, the rookie running back who fumbled it, also dropped a screen. Should have got him benched for the rest of the game after that. Didn't even try. Should have been benched for the rest of the game after that. If Bill Belichick was coaching and this was the Patriots, he would have been sat for the rest of the game. And then the fumble should have done it too, but I think they did. They brought out Fournette and was like, okay, here you go. But the offense dropping passes left, right, and center. They still scored 31 points. The defense was atrocious. The defense. You got burnt by Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team. The winners of Tank Division. Now, you still won. Fair play. But you got burnt. It should not have been this close. I don't care. Don't tell me that Taylor Heineke balled out. He did. I respect him. Good game by Taylor Heineke. He did ball out. I'm not saying he didn't. But that defense is Swiss cheese. And you could say, but one of their best linebackers was out on COVID list. He'll be back next week. I hope it changes because we're running straight into the Saints. Into a chainsaw. If you make Washington look okay, do you think you have any, and I mean any, chance against the Saints? I know Drew Brees just came back from a rib injury. Alvin Kamara just came back from the COVID list. Michael Thomas is back, but the Bears is the perfect game for them to start on because the Bears are even worse than Washington, at least at this point. Honestly, it's true. Mitch Trubisky is not going to do well in the Superdome. Canned noise or real noise, I don't care. He is going to fall apart like a Jenga shack. This defense, you're giving the Saints time to build up. And then the Buccaneers versus the Saints, probably very most likely next week. Thanks to the LA Rams somehow figuring out how to beat the Seattle Seahawks. We're screwed. I don't want to say it, but I'd rather play the frauds in Green Bay than New Orleans. We've seen this film twice. And honestly, the way they played Washington, I don't like where this is going. Washington cut up the defense like Swiss cheese. Brady was amazing. The offense scored enough. We won by the skin of our teeth. That should not be happening against Washington. The defense, my God. That is undisciplined. Now, they're a lot more disciplined than they were when it came to early in the season with all the penalties. Maybe they'll have less penalties against the Saints. Maybe they'll have a better chance. But come on now. Come on now. Come on now. You're telling me that this defense can hold up against Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and Drew Brees? You're out of your mind. Tom Brady has to pull a masterclass out of his ass next week. Now, he had a great game tonight. It wasn't his best. Could you say that was because of the receivers dropping balls? Yes. Did he overthrow a little bit? Yes. But he was still the player of the game. Leonard Fournette looked good. The offense, besides when they dropped the ball, looked good. I'm not blaming the offense. The offense can score. It's when they played, the defense just got owned. Now, I will say something about Washington's defense. They did exactly what I expected them to. 2. Montez Sweat was amazing. Chase Young was amazing. Their interior defensive line is amazing. They shut Tampa down. They tried to get after Brady, and that's what you need to do to beat him. Now, I don't think the Saints have a defense like that, besides Demario Davis, but honestly, it's not that hard. So I'll admit, that defense is tough. Saints, they're tough too, but they're not as tough as that. That is 4 top-level interior defensive linemen rushing Brady. I'm surprised he didn't get sacked more than he did. The Saints, I will say, that defensive line is a little bit not as scary after you face Washington. But they could still get to you. So is this a good test? Maybe. But I still think the Saints are a better team offensively. Now, Drew Brees could be still off of it. Maybe he looks but still beats the Bears because the Bears suck. They're frickin' dumpster fire. Okay, fine. But I just don't have a good feeling going into next week. But I got this game right. Tampa goes through. I'm 2-1 on the night. 2-1 on the weekend. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Player of the game, Tom Brady. As I said, he was amazing. He did have a couple of bad throws, overthrows, not like bad, but like hard throws, which may have caused the drops, but I'd blame it more on Godwin and Evans and all that. I don't think it was his fault. So with that said, there you go with your day 1 reviews. If you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends. Tomorrow, I have reviews of day 2 of Wildcard Weekend, Super Wildcard Weekend. We'll be back tomorrow. Another 3 games. It's going to be a fun one. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace.